Let's talk about manifestation. I mean, it is everywhere, right? On social media and books, you can't escape it. But what is it, really? Is it some powerful technique for achieving your dreams, or is it just wishful thinking? Today, we're going to dive into that gap between the promise of positive thinking and the reality of how our brains actually work, to figure out what it truly takes to make a goal real.
So much of this modern conversation really exploded thanks to The Secret, and the promise it made was just so captivating. The idea is simple. Your thoughts literally create your reality. If you focus on wealth, you attract wealth. If you believe in love, you'll find it. It's an incredibly powerful and, let's be honest, a very appealing idea.
But that brings up the million-dollar question, doesn't it? If all it takes is positive thinking, why isn't everyone living their dream life? For every person who swears by it, there are tons of others who've made the vision boards, said the affirmations, and are still stuck in the exact same spot. What's going on there? That's the puzzle we're going to piece together.
To really get to the bottom of this, we first have to understand what was promised in the first place. And the cultural touchstone for all of this is, of course, the law of attraction. The law of attraction really boils down to a few core ideas. First, like attracts like. Pretty straightforward. Good thoughts bring good things, bad thoughts bring bad things. Second, the belief that your focused energy literally bends reality to your will. And then, The Secret added this really juicy layer of mystery. The idea that this powerful knowledge was a hidden principle, something kept under wraps by the powerful for centuries.
So that's the promise. Sounds good, right? But as we all know, there can be a huge difference between theory and practice. And this brings us to the first major roadblock, the giant canyon between wanting something and actually doing something about it.
Psychologists have a name for this. It's called the intention-action gap. You know the feeling. It's the difference between saying, I'm going to get a new job, and, well, actually updating your LinkedIn, sending out resumes, and going on interviews. Just forming the intention feels good. It feels like progress. But it's only the first step on a very long road.
And look, this isn't just a feeling. The data backs this up. A huge study found that, on average, we only follow through on our good intentions about 53% of the time. Think about that for a second. That means almost half the time, half. When we decide to get fit or save more money or learn a new skill, that goal just fizzles out somewhere between the idea and the action. There's clearly a powerful force working against us. So what is it?
Well, the answer isn't a lack of willpower. And it's not because you're lazy. It's biology. Because deep down, underneath all our conscious goals and desires, our brain is running its own program, a hidden script with its own agenda.
See, your brain's #1 priority is not to make you happy or successful. Its top job, its only real job, is to keep you alive. That's it. Its prime directive is survival. And it does that by constantly trying to move you away from anything it thinks is painful and towards safety. And here is the absolute key. Your brain doesn't know the difference between the fear of being eaten by a lion and the fear of being embarrassed in a meeting. It sees both as danger, and it will trigger the same response: avoid, avoid, avoid.
And that survival instinct is exactly where limiting beliefs are born. They're these subconscious connections we've made between a goal we want and some kind of pain. You might consciously want a promotion, but your subconscious brain remembers the sting of past failures and screams, "Careful, trying new things is dangerous. You might look stupid." You want a relationship, but it connects being vulnerable with the pain of rejection, and your subconscious will always choose avoiding that pain over chasing the reward.
This is perfectly explained by a core idea from cognitive behavioral therapy called the cognitive triangle. It shows how our thoughts, feelings, and actions are all locked together in a feedback loop. It starts with a limiting belief, which creates a thought like, "I'm going to fail at this." That thought triggers a feeling, anxiety, maybe fear, and that feeling drives your behavior. You procrastinate, you avoid it, which of course just reinforces the original belief that you were going to fail anyway. It's a vicious cycle that runs on autopilot.
So it might feel like we're fighting a battle against our own brains, right? Well, here's the good news. We are not powerless here. There's a whole toolkit of practical, proven strategies we can use to get our conscious and subconscious minds to finally work together. If you want to change your results, you have to start by rewriting those underlying beliefs. So step 1, just look at your life. It is a perfect printout of your current subconscious programming. Step 2, get specific. What's the pain? What are you really afraid of when it comes to this goal? And then step 3, and this one is the absolute game changer. You have to actively go out and create new evidence. If you believe you're bad at public speaking, the new evidence is asking just one question in a meeting. You need to find tiny, undeniable proof that the old story isn't true. And finally, you repeat that daily to physically build new pathways in your brain.
Okay, another thing. Vague wishes get vague results, so we need to give our goals some structure. The SMA-RT Goals Framework is basically the perfect antidote to those fuzzy law of attraction desires. It forces you to get real. Is your goal specific? Is it measurable so you know if you're winning? Is it actually achievable for you right now? Is it relevant to your life? And does it have a time-bound deadline? This is how you turn a daydream into a real project plan.
All right, next up is a technique that is so simple, it almost feels like cheating. It's called an implementation intention. All it is an if-then plan. You decide ahead of time exactly how you're going to handle a tough spot. For instance, if I get home from work and feel too tired to work out, then I will immediately put on my gym clothes. You're basically creating a preloaded automatic response that completely bypasses your need for willpower in that moment. It's brilliant.
And that brings us to a really cool tool that kind of blends the mindset work with action. It's called scripting. It's basically writing a journal entry from your future self, as if you've already achieved your goal. Now, the key here isn't to trick yourself into believing something that's not true. It's to help you feel the emotions of success. And by focusing on believable next steps, like describing how it feels to land your first client, not how it feels to be a billionaire, you generate real, positive emotions that actually motivate you to take action, instead of triggering that subconscious fear.
So let's pull all these threads together. We've got the promise of positive thinking on one side, and we've got the hard reality of our brain's survival programming on the other. The real solution isn't to choose a side, it's to make them work together.
So if there is a real secret to all of this, it's this. Manifestation is not a passive, magical process. It is an active one. It's a two-part formula. First, you have to do the internal work, rewriting those limiting beliefs. That's the mindset piece. It gets your brain ready to even see the opportunities that are right in front of you. But that's not enough. Then you have to take strategic, intentional action. The mindset opens the door, but action is you actually walking through it. You need both. Period.
Which kind of leaves us with one final thought. Maybe we've been looking at this whole thing the wrong way. What if manifestation isn't some mystical cosmic ordering system? What if it's just the 21st century word for a very old and very powerful practice? The discipline of aligning your entire inner world, your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, with a clear, actionable plan to create what you want. It's a mind that is laser-focused, both inside and out, on making its own reality.